Welcome to a brand new studio vlog, and it's a sunny one this week. I brought along my iPad and started working on a brand new collection. I can't believe I'm saying that already. I sat down to create a mood board for the collection. What would Sunshine Lane look like? Who would live there? What would their houses look like? Who would the people be, or like the residents, I suppose. And I picture my Fox character to be a little bit nerdy, a little bit quirky, more of an introvert, loves getting lost in books. I'm excited to think that over the next, 12 months or so, Sunshine Lane will start to fill up with more residents and more characters, all kind of spreading lovely, positive messages. Sometimes I just need a change of scenery, and so this morning we are starting the week off at Starbucks, which is my favourite. It's always nice and quiet in the mornings, and for a little glimpse into my order, my favourite is always fruit toast with jam and a sugar-free vanilla oat latte. That is my absolute favourite, and I'm a creature of habit, and I usually always have the same. I went with my mum. It's the first time we've gone on a working date together since she started working at Sunshine Lane with me, and I set her on the task of some super boring admin, sorry mum, while I brought along my iPad and started working on a brand new collection. I can't believe I'm saying that already. It's going to be a cosy, bookish collection ready for the autumn, and when I had my previous Patreon community, I did some gorgeous bookish artwork for one of the goodie boxes, and I decided to use it as a base to start sketching some stacks of books and start to get myself in the flow. And I spent about an hour or so just coming up with the bare bones of a couple of designs. It was lovely being able to sit and have a natter and a coffee while we were both getting some work done. One of the perks of working for yourself, I think, and it was lovely to get into designing some new goodies. So by the time we left, this is what I had come up with so far. Hi everyone, welcome to a brand new studio vlog, and it's a sunny one this week. So you will have seen yesterday that me and my mum decided, I decided and she was up for it, that we would start the week by going and doing some work in Starbucks for a change of scenery. It was Wednesday, which is one of the 2 days she works with me, and she did some admin for the next trade show while I got started designing a new collection. I'm so excited. It's something that I've had in my head for a while, knowing it's going to be the next collection after the Wildflower. And if I can, I would like to release it at Southwest Planner Club, which is only 5 weeks away, which is just, it's silly. It's another silly thing. When I came back from the trade show and I said to my husband that I was going to be starting to design a new collection, he laughed. He thought it was a joke. And I was like, no, I'm serious. I want to release it for September. And he was just like, rolled his eyes at me. But this will be the last actual collection that I designed this year. There may or may not be a calendar coming, depending on timing and pressures, because I will be, fingers crossed, becoming a mum in October-ish time, like end of September, beginning of October. And so whilst I'll still be working in dribs and drabs, I don't want to commit myself to doing lots of collections, a Christmas collection, etc. So I've released a lot of collections in quick succession, and I think I'm just going to focus on making sure people know about those collections during that time and try and batch marketing tasks and keep promoting things, and then spend time with family because it's something we've been waiting for what feels like forever. So that's the plan for the next few months. And so I have been working my little bum off for the last few months, just trying to do as much as I can before that time. And I kind of had these ideas ticking over of what I wanted the autumn collection to be. I'm calling it an autumn collection, but none of my collections are really themed in terms of the seasons, if that makes sense. I try and make some links so it makes sense releasing it at that time of year sometimes, but in general, they're not like specific themes, like it's not going to be covered in pumpkins, for example, because it then means I can't really sell it outside of those times. And so I've avoided doing that, but I do want it to have a cozy feel. Autumn's my favourite season. I love the cozy vibes. And so I want it to have a really cozy feel. And so what comes to mind for me at that time of year is kind of hunkering down, getting all cozy with a lovely book and a cup of tea and having time for you. So my next collection is going to be book themed. I'm so excited about it. And so earlier this week, I sat down to create a mood board for the collection, and I'm going to show you that now. So to create my mood board, I went over to Canva and I clicked on their whiteboard option. If you've never seen the whiteboard before, it's a big blank space that you can expand on forever and ever and ever. You can make it as big or as small as you like and just keep expanding outwards with your ideas and things. And it's just a very free-flowing, flexible space. So I went into the templates and searched mood board, and they have a lot of different templates you can use to start as a base. So I had a look at a couple and I decided to use this one as my basis for my mood board. So I deleted my original option. And as you can see, you can just scroll around in all different directions. But I decided to use this one as my base. And I started copying in images that I'd found and kind of laying them over the top and using the original template as a kind of guide for different columns and image sizes and things. And I included images that had quotes that I liked related to reading and books, as well as different product types, different kind of design elements, books in different positions, kind of stacks of books and things that I could use for inspiration. And I just played around with adding them onto the template and using the kind of original template as a grid to follow. And I really wanted to put together something that I could keep by me when I'm designing to give me inspiration for the kind of feel I want from the collection, keeping a very positive vibe, as with all things from Sunshine Lane, and the kind of positive things that can come from reading, so that I could take this mood board with me wherever I was designing and just immediately be back in that world of creating for this collection. Alongside the pictures, I put a little box for product ideas, and then I started adding in these little dots and putting together ideas for colour palettes. I wasn't 100% sure at this stage what colour palette I was going to use. So when I finished, I had kind of 5 options for colour palettes, and I just included them all on here so that I could take it away and get other people's opinions on it before I chose the final one. I wanted to include some kind of darker autumnal colours, but for it to still be kind of bright and fun and have that Sunshine Lane vibe, I didn't want just all kind of orange, red and brown, but I wanted to bring in some colours I wouldn't normally use alongside the kind of brighter colours that I would. And then I just kind of added in a title section to pull it all together, and added in some other cozy graphics from Canva, some kind of hanging lights, some little plants, things that I feel would go in a kind of reading nook. And then I downloaded it ready to print and keep with me whenever I'm designing. So with that mood board in hand, that was when yesterday I went to Starbucks for some designing time with my little mood board. I showed it to my mum, she loved it. And I just had it there to give me ideas of colours, of shapes, of piles of books and things, and just to give me some different ideas. And I worked on a new kind of bookshelf design. And what I've decided is, I haven't approached my pin manufacturer yet, but I know I'm really going to be pushing my luck to get pins done for Southwest Planner Club. My pin manufacturer is going to hate me. So what I've decided to do is just sketch out a few designs and not worry about all the details, just block them out how I think they're going to be, and then decide which one or two I would like to make into a pin, and then approach my manufacturer about those, finalise those designs first, and then I'll have more time to finalise the other designs for stickers and elements in other products. So that is my kind of thought process around how to approach it. But today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. The first 3 days of this week, I've been in my studio just sweating. Sorry for the image, but it's been so hot and we've just been struggling away in there. So today I've dragged all the sofa cushions for our garden seats out of the garage, which has made me hot enough. I've got my cap on because I hate the sun in my eyes. It's probably the autistic person in me. Like, I am actually autistic. I find it really harsh. And I just spend all my time scowling and getting frown lines. So I've got my cap on. I've got my iced coffee in like my wildflower. I'm feeling very wildflower. And I'm going to sit in this little chair and I'm going to design Sunshine Lane's first character. So if you remember back in May, if you were with me then, I had a trip to South Korea for my birthday and I recorded a video, which I will link in the description, about how that trip influenced my thoughts around Sunshine Lane, where I would like it to go in the future, and kind of building up the kind of branding and the world around Sunshine Lane a little bit more. And characters is something that I've always wanted to do. I've done animals and people, like cute little faces and stuff in the past, but I've strayed away from doing specific characters. And I think, like, I used to have a planning panda, when I did all my planning stickers, and Panda would be doing like all different things. And then I dabbled with a little frog character, but I strayed away from it and I had a bit of a fear of like seeing that other people had done that. This is the perils of filming in the garden, as someone is now cutting trees down in the background, which is great. Yeah, I got a bit hung up on what people would think of it, and would they think I was just trying to copy other brands, or was it me getting lost in what other people were doing? Because early on in running what was Plan, Inspire, Create, I lost my way with the self-care theme and like why I started Sunshine Lane in the first place. And I started producing loads of like planet icons and different things because I was like, well, other shops have them and like I won't be doing it properly if I don't have what other shops have. And so I think maybe it's made me back off from it because I've got that fear of, well, is this really what you want to do? But having been to South Korea, I've spent the last couple of months kind of mulling it over and thinking about how I can bring characters to Sunshine Lane in a way that feels authentic to Sunshine Lane. And I talked a bit in that video about how I started to think of Sunshine Lane on that trip as a place, and like, what would Sunshine Lane look like? Who would live there? What their houses look like? Who would the people be, or like the residents, I suppose? Who would, like, what would their personalities be? What would their hopes and dreams be? Like, what would be their stories they would tell, essentially? And the more I thought about it, the more I fell in love with it. And I was going to hold off on releasing any characters until next year, but I had a lovely idea that it might be nice to include a fox character in the book collection. If you don't know, my last name is Fox, and I've always found kind of, not foxes in real life because I don't like that screech that they make, but like as a sort of character, I think they give me a cute, cozy vibe. And I could picture a fox kind of curled up on top of a stack of books, or I've got a picture in the house, I'll try and find it, of a fox with glasses on. And I picture my fox character to be a little bit nerdy, a little bit quirky, more of an introvert, loves getting lost in books. Their home would be like lots of cozy nooks, maybe a big library wall, lots of kind of crowded shelves with stacks of books at all angles, and just that the fox would be a very curious character in terms of like having an open mind, loving to learn new things, different perspectives, and like happy to talk to other people about them and like share what they've learned. So today I am going to sit down and try and do an initial sketch for my fox character. I don't have a name yet, so they're just fox right now. I have to say I'm really nervous probably because it's something new I haven't done for a while. All of this year, I have drawn objects, flowers, like the retro collection also was floral, like boho florals, but things like the roller skates, the kind of disco ball, groovy boots, like the vinyl record, it's all been object-based. And bringing a character to life is something new that I think feels suddenly pressured. And I think as part of my autism, I do get this kind of, I heard a talk once and they called it inertia, where like you struggle to get started on something and then equally you struggle to stop it. And I relate to that a lot. And I think regardless of autism, I think a lot of creative people can maybe relate to that, because beforehand, the fears of perfectionism and not knowing what I'm doing, like that all kicks in and I can put things off and struggle to get started. But then once I get into it, the hours can fly by and I lose track of time. I don't eat, I don't drink. If I don't set a timer to go off and like remind me, I don't realise I need the toilet. And then suddenly I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to wet myself. Like I'll stay up way, way late and like mess up my sleep because I lose track of time. I just get totally lost in this world and it's lovely. I love it. But equally, like I have to manage it so I actually eat, drink and wee and sleep. Let's be totally honest. So yeah, I know that once I get over the hump, I'll love it, but I need to actually just start. So that's what I'm going to do. That's why I thought I'd set a nice environment for myself. I'm going to put some videos on. I'm going to put my headphones in. Don't ask me why. I just like to listen to things with headphones in, and I don't want to annoy the neighbours. It is really quiet down here, but I don't want to annoy the neighbours, even though I'm probably annoying them now. I'm going to get my iPad and I'm just going to sketch. And then what I'd love to do is share that sketch in my email newsletter and have a little section that's like behind the design and start sharing each week how the fox character is evolving and how this collection is evolving. Maybe expand a little bit more on my website about it if people want to read more. And so I've been thinking about all this morning and now I'm super, super hyped about it. And I just want to get started, even though it feels pressured. So I'm setting a rule for myself that I'm just going to create a messy sketch. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. I just want to have a play with like different face shapes, different body shapes, and see what feels right if something jumps out more than another. So enough waffle, because I think I am putting it off. Let me grab my iPad and let's start designing. So ready to start sketching, I actually went on to Skillshare and looked up some classes on character design, and I loaded up this super amazing class by Melissa Lee called Character Design Crash Course, Designing Animal Characters. This isn't sponsored by Skillshare, but I just wanted to share with you what I learned. And because I teach classes on Skillshare, I actually have a discount code I can leave in the comments below for 30 days free if there's any classes you want to look up. So Melissa shared that she always starts by getting some reference pictures of the animals she wants to draw in lots of different poses, and how important it is to start from reference pictures. And start by just outlining those animals and getting their shapes down on the canvas. So this is what I did. I saved some pictures of foxes in different positions, some sleeping, some sitting, some with their eyes open, some with their eyes closed. And you'll notice that the ones I picked also have different patterns in terms of the fur, in terms of where their head is positioned. Some have kind of narrower faces, some have wider faces, and so I just focused on sketching around the main shapes. And then once I had those, Melissa says that it's from here that you can start to push the boundaries of those outlines and start to really define your character. So I know that I wanted to make the ears a lot bigger than how it looked in person, and also the cheeks kind of pointier with these big kind of roughly fluffy bits on the side. So I started just exaggerating the proportions and seeing what I liked and what I didn't. And I kind of gravitated to this fox with the kind of wider face on the sides, but kind of going to a skinnier point in the middle with these big, almost bat-like ears. And as I did each iteration and each pose, I feel like a bit more of the character started to come together. I had already had a think about my fox character and how I wanted it to be in terms of its characteristics personality-wise, and I wanted it to come across as a kind of curious character. And so this sketch with its head kind of cocked, looking a bit curious, is my absolute favourite because I just think it captures the personality really well that I was trying to portray. So it's a new day and I am so happy with the sketches that I did in the sunshine. It was a lovely day being able to just sit and get stuck into that. And as predicted, once I got over the hump of starting, I really enjoyed it and I've just been wanting to do more on it ever since. So yeah, I'm happy with it. Like I was saying, this one is my absolute favourite. The little sort of curious one with its little head cocked, that's my absolute favourite. I wanted to have a couple of sketches, I've done the 3, so that I had sketches of the fox in different positions ready to kind of start my designs. So like I had more than one reference, if that makes sense. I'm trying to figure out what the head would look like from different angles, like looking down at the book, and I altered the chin and like the nose position and the angle of the face, and then like sleepy with the eyes closed. It's just like a fun thing that I've not really had the opportunity to do much of before for Sunshine Lane, so I really enjoyed it. And I made sure I did the sketch with the little book because obviously that's going to be a big part of the personality. It's a character that loves to read, loves to learn, and I gave it these kind of big glasses, round glasses, and I just can't wait to get stuck in now to start in the actual designs. So yeah, my plan is to try and do pin designs first because I need to beg my pin manufacturer to see if I can get pins in time. And so I'll do those first and then move on to other products. But I really just want to get stuck in. I think it's going to be a really fun and cozy collection. I do need a name for my fox character. So if you have any suggestions, please leave me a comment in the comments below and let me know what you think the name for the fox should be. I would absolutely love to hear your suggestions, and if you have watched all the way through this vlog, leave me a little fox emoji to celebrate the new character for Sunshine Lane. I'm excited to think that over the next, I don't know, 12 months or so, Sunshine Lane will start to fill up with more residents and more characters, all kind of spreading lovely positive messages. So please do like this video if you enjoyed watching it, and click subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because I release these behind the scenes videos every week and it's really helping to push my channel out to other people who might like to watch it too. Make sure you're signed up to my email list that I'll link in the description if you do want to start getting my emails with the little behind the design segments each week, as well as special offers and things. And until next week, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye everyone!